And a foul going to be whistled as Larson was just getting ridden down the sideline there. Stump going to be whistled for her third. Inbounded to Larson. Larson drives in, stops, 12-footer. In and out, no good. Allen with the rebound. She'll bring it up. Goes left side. Over to Savannah Bird. Savannah down to Stump. Stump turns, fires, no good. Larson scoops the board. Now down in the corner, Simbahan from 12. In and out, no good. Batted around. Hansen comes out of the pile with it. Went through a few Vikings. And Coach Hansen wants to talk things over, so we'll take 60 seconds. 47-31, Craig on top with 5:22 to go in the game. Welcome back. Inbounded to Johanna Allen. Allen picked up by Larson. Now they dump it in the corner to Yates. Yates wanted Stump on the cut, but they couldn't get it to her. Now back to Yates. Up top to Allen. Allen left side over to Savannah Bird. Bird's up and in from the left side. She's got 4. 49-31. Time running out for the Lady Vikings. Simbahan, right side. 4:45 to go in the game. 18-point deficit. Stowe, left side. Over to Larson. Larson drives in the paint. In and out, no good. And Stump had the rebound and then had it poked out of bounds. Heppy might have got a little hand on it, knocked it loose. But now they get it up to Stump. Stump to Bird. Bird now to Allen. Allen down in the corner. Shoots it up, no good. McKay comes out of the pile with it and travels. So McKay gets the rebound and then turns it over. The subs coming in, Davis, Parker, and Kahn all coming in. Stowe, Simbahan, and Heppy come out. Yates stops, pops, no good. Rebound to Hansen. She can't convert. Petersburg comes out with it. Larson crosses over on Stump, dumps it down to Davis, and Davis just throws it away. Bad pass. Inbounded now to Yates. Yates to Allen. Up to Yates. Now up to Bird. Bird traveled, and they got it. Shaylee Johnson checks back in. Is Johanna Allen going to come off? Inbounded now to turnover as Petersburg not able to hang on to it. Now they get it into Stump. High post off the window. The bank is open as Kennedy Stump just having a great game. 14 now. Stolen away again in the backcourt as the wheels just falling off here for Petersburg in the second half. Just cannot really get much going offensively. 20-point deficit now. Bird out to Yates, and Yates has it poked away, turned over. Parker now with it. Gets it over to Larson. Larson gets a screen from deep. Shot in and out, no good as Larson's gone cold here in the second half. Rebound comes off to Craig. 2:45 to go in the game. Yates now drops it up top to Shaylee Johnson. Now Bird from 15. That one rattles in the cage. Pops out. Kahn turns it back over. 2 offensive rebounds now for Craig. And Shaylee Johnson's going to be fouled on the putback. Craig just would not be denied under there. Inez Larson going to pick up her second. First shot no good by Shaylee Johnson. She'll get one more. And it looks like Coach Dino Brock going to get his bench up and concede that the game is going to go to Craig, 51-31 with 2:28. As Pettibone checks in the game, as does number 24, Annie Christensen. A hold going to go against the Panthers, so rebound comes down to Petersburg. Kennedy Stump picks up her fourth. So Christensen and Pettibone out on the floor now. Simbahan goes right side. Gets tripped up and possession arrow. It's going to be tied up. Possession arrow is going to favor the Vikings. So it'll be Petersburg ball underneath their own basket. Jasmine Bird and Johanna Allen check back in for Craig. Kennedy Stump comes off, and that will probably be the last we see of her. Jasmine Bird as well. Inbound pass comes out, kicked it to Simbahan, foot on the line, deep shot, no good. Rebound into the hands of Hansen. The Panthers now going to bring it up with 2 minutes to go, 20-point lead. And Craig will advance to play the loser of the Wrangell-Metlakatla girls game later today. Allen, right wing, kicks it up top to Yates. Yates swings it on the left side over there to Shaylee Johnson. She gets it in the middle to Jasmine Bird. Bird tips it down on the ground. Yates comes up with it. Another offensive board, 8 now for Craig in the second half. Shot up, no good, and they're just kind of letting them play a little bit of rat ball now as Petersburg comes out of there with it. Simbahan goes coast to coast, loses the ball, and turns it over. Stowe going to check in, and that will be it for Holly Davis. Davis, a senior, and that will be it for her. 1:10 to go in the game. As Allen brings it up over to Yates. Yates now back over to Haley Murray. And Shaylee Johnson loses it on the end line. Turns it back over to the Vikings. Yates comes off the floor. That will be it for her. Ariana Brooks checks in. Kahn looks down to Stowe on the block. Turns, shoots, count it. Adriana Stowe up and in for her 4th point of the game. Johanna Allen picks up her 4th foul. And Adriana Stowe will go to the line for the and 1. Oh, 22. And Johanna Allen not even out on the floor. Stowe's shot, no good. Rebound down to Shaylee Johnson. 37 seconds to go. Johnson brings it up, gets it up now to Haley Murray. Shot on the way by Ariana Brooks, no good. And a rebound going to be tipped out of bounds off the hands of Jasmine Bird. And it'll be Petersburg ball with 27.7 to go. Parker, top of the key, drives left, loses the ball. Now they kick it back up top. Christensen over to Kahn, 15 seconds. Kahn to Stowe. Stowe out on the wing, loses the ball. Parker comes up with it, drives into the paint, puts up a runner, no good. Rebound down to Stowe. Stowe going to pop from 12. And that's the game. 51-33, our final. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 3 minutes with with a wrap-up of this one. You've been listening to Region 5 tournament action on KFSK in Petersburg and KRBD on POW. Welcome back to our post-game wrap-up. The Craig Panthers over the Petersburg Lady Vikings, 51-33. The Panthers will live to fight another day, and the Petersburg girls are done and that will be the end of their season. So a disappointing loss for Petersburg, but Craig will move on. They will face the loser of tonight's Wrangell-Metlakatla girls matchup. The winner of that Wrangell-Metlakatla game will be the Region 2A champion and be heading to the state tournament for the first seed. The loser has to play Craig for that second spot to head to the state tournament. So lots more great action coming your way throughout the rest of the day. In the loss for Petersburg, leading the way, it was the freshman Kaylee Simbahan. She led the way yesterday, led the way again here today. 14 points, 7 for 10 from the free throw line, 1-3, 2 buckets from inside the arc. Inez Larson with 9 points. She had 1-3, 3 field goals, 0 for 1 from the free throw line. 6 points for Taylor Heppy, all coming from the field. And then Adriana Stowe had 2 buckets from the field and 0 for 1 from the free throw line. The Vikings were 7 of 12 from the free throw line, 2 3-pointers, 10 buckets from inside the arc to round out their 33 points in offense. 4 offensive rebounds for Petersburg as they just got crushed on the offensive glass by Craig. Craig had 14. Defensive rebounds about even. Petersburg with 12, Craig with 15. And turnovers slightly favoring Craig as Petersburg turned the ball over 22 times. Craig only 15. In the win, leading the way for Craig Lady Panthers was Kennedy Stump. Stump with 14 points, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, and 6 buckets from the field. 12 points for Sarah Yates, as Yates was 1 for 4 from the free throw line, 1 3-pointer, and 4 buckets from the field. Ashley Hansen with 11. She was 3 for 4 from the line, and 4 buckets from the field. 6 points for Johanna Allen. Allen 2 for 3 from the line and 2 field goals. And then Shaylee Johnson and Savannah Bird both with 4. Johnson 1 field goal and 2 for 4 from the line. And Savannah 2 field goals and 0 for 4 from the line. The Panthers shot under 50% from the line, 10 of 22. Had 1 3-pointer and 19 2-pointers to round out their 51 total points in offense. So that will do it for our broadcast here, and unfortunately down there in Petersburg again, the Lady Vikings out of the tournament. They'll be spectators, but certainly back today at 4:45 to cheer on the Petersburg Vikings as they take on the number 1 seed Metlakatla Chiefs, as Metlakatla trying to head back to the state tournament. They're returning state champions from last year. Would love to get back there again, but the Vikings standing in their way. And then this next game, Haynes and Wrangell, the winner of this game will face off tomorrow against the loser of that Metlakatla-Petersburg game for that second spot to the state tournament. So great basketball on tap. Of course, down there, if you're following the games coming up this afternoon, it'll be K-High and Juneau Douglas, both on the men's and the ladies' side. And then Sitka and Mt.Edgecumbe on the men's and ladies' side tonight to wrap up the 3A. So lots more great basketball here on tap. Hope you can join us when you have the opportunity. But, of course, thanks for joining us this morning. Our final, again, the Craig Panthers 51, the Petersburg Lady Vikings 33.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the B.J. McGillis Gymnasium at Mt.Edgecumbe High School and the best basketball tournament in the state of Alaska, the Region 5 Basketball Championships. This is game number 18 in your program. It features the 2A boys division. Please welcome the visitors on the scoreboard, the Wrangell Wolves. Please welcome the home team on the scoreboard, the Haynes Glacier Bears. Let's meet the starting lineups. First for our visitors, for the Wrangell Wolves. He is a 6-foot sophomore, number 10, Brett Abramson. He's a 5'10 junior, number 23, Skylar Loftus. He's a 5'10 junior, number 34, Trevor Miller. He's a 5'11 senior, number 44, Jacob Hammer. And the captain is a 6'5 senior, number 12, Riley Blatchley. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the Haynes Glacier Bears. He's a 5'11 freshman, number 12, David Strong. He's a 5'10 sophomore, number 31, Wesley Verham. He's a 5'6 sophomore, number 11, Mark Davis. He's a 6-foot sophomore, number 10, Carson Krager. And the captain is a 6'4 junior, number 24, Kirby Faverty. Your Haynes Glacier Bears are coached by Mr. Steve Fossman. Your Wrangell Wolves are coached by Mr. Cody Ingerman. Your officials for this morning's game: from Ketchikan, Mr. Jeremy Bynum; from Sitka, Mr. Anthony Perkins; and the referee in charge of the court tossing the ball from Ketchikan, Mr. Riley Gass.
Ball's up, and looks like the Glacier Bears are going to control it. Krager does. He'll bring it across. Wolves drop back in. They play a lot of 2-3 zone defense, and that's what they've started out with here. Krager penetrates inside. Kicks about to Strong, knocked out of bounds, however, nicely by Hammer. So it's still going to be Glacier Bear basketball under their basket. Just beginning first quarter action here. Goes out to Krager, left side. Looks inside for Strong, not there. Back to Faverty. Faverty's going to be whistled for the travel. The official's been calling that travel really close all tournament long, so it's going to have to make a bit of an adjustment to it. Alley-oops inside. The Wolves have the basketball. Blatchley will bring it across on the dribble. Glacier Bears drop back into their defense. They'll come out to the top. Miller handles the ball quite often for the Wrangell Wolves. And so they're going right side to Hammer. They go into Blatchley. Jumper from the free throw line. He's got it off the glass, up and in. That one went right off the glass and in. And back out to Krager. Krager with the dribble to the right-hand side. Davis. 2-3 zone defense, as I mentioned, for the Wolves. Out Strong. Left-handed crossover, goes to the baseline with the shot. Forces it inside. Verham along the baseline. Good defense by the Wolves. Long three-pointer up and in by Davis. So Davis gets a three. He was squared up nicely and made a nice hoop out of it. Goes right-hand side over to Loftus, or Abrahamson, back out to Miller. Back inside, stepped in front, making the steal was Krager. He's on the left-handed dribble, coming down the side, stops, goes to the hoop, a little bit too hard off the glass. Davis comes away with it. Alley-oops to Faverty's shot there, but he's going to be whistled for the travel. He was so wide open, he said, I got to take an extra step here to get to the hoop, and of course, that doesn't work. Over to Loftus. Loftus back and forth to Miller. Abrahamson on that right-hand side. Glacier Bears full court pressure at the half-court line. Oh, Blatchley didn't realize that there was wide open Wolves down low. Blatchley put it up and in, and he's got 4. Glacier Bears down by 1, 4-3. Over to Faverty. Shot on the way, going to be a foul on it. It's going to be 3 shots as Faverty turned around right in front of the Wrangell bench, about 2 feet behind the three-point arc. And Abrahamson's going to pick up his first foul, first team foul, and Faverty's going to be at the line for 3.
Kirby's putting his shoulder fake. He's adding his foot, which has caused those 2 alternating possessions.
All right, second one's on its way. This one is good, so he's 2 for 2 from the line. He has 2 points. Now the Glacier Bears have the lead. And he'll get the third. This one's on its way, and it is good too. So he is 3 for 3 and has the 3 points all coming from the line. Glacier Bears 2-2-1 press, and Miller gets it across the half-court line, goes right-hand side to Abrahamson. Along the baseline, Hammer, 3 on the way, a little bit too strong. Ball's bounced around between 2 players. It's going to be Glacier Bear basketball. Strong got a hand on it, along with Abrahamson, and ball went off of the Wolves, so the Glacier Bears are going to have the ball. 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Glacier Bears lead by 2, 6-4. Davis penetrates inside. Stop. Krager, three-pointer on the way. In and out. No rebound. Fought for. Tap down into the hands of Miller. Miller's on the right-handed dribble. He looks for Blatchley out at the top. Blatchley wanted to go down inside. Change his mind. Miller, long 3 off the back of the iron. Rebound hustling over. Let's see where the ball is going to go. It's going to go to the Wolves down in that far side as we had Strong hustling over there, just not able to corral. The ball goes out of bounds. Comes back inside to Miller. Davis puts a little pressure on Miller, goes right-hand side. Penetrated inside his loft as he put it up. Partially checked, however, on the shot. Strong comes away with it for the Glacier Bears. He goes back down inside to Davis. Davis penetrates, nothing going. Kirby Faberty, long 3 on the way. Rebound comes back down to Verham. He goes back up with it, wants to put up the shot, still can't do anything with it, knocked out of his hand, and Loftus comes away with it for the Wolves, and they're quick up the court. Blatchley looked at the 3. He'll take it now. This one's going to be off to the right-hand side. I had a good view of that one. Krager working down the left-hand side, almost knocked away by Hammer. Back to Verham, over to Krager, and he'll bring it back out. Looks like Faberty will go right-hand side, back to Krager again. He looks inside, holds the ball high over his head. Now he comes to Verham, breaking down the lane inside. Up and in by Strong. Nice pass that time as Strong got that one to go, and that's his first toe. But Wesley's the one who really set that up as he drew the defense, made an easy pass, and the Wolves are going to turn the basketball over. Glacier Bears lead 8-4. And they're going to have the basketball. First quarter action, 4:42 to go in the first quarter. And Krager up at the top. 2-3 zone defense again. Penetrating inside is Davis. He kicks it back out to Faverty. Back over to Krager, right-hand side on the dribble. Still doesn't do anything with it. Comes back out to Davis, back to Krager. Jumper from just inside the three-point arc. Good. Carson Krager stepped inside the three-point arc and put up the little jumper and got it to go. Goes all the way down left-hand side. Nothing going here is Abrahamson. He looks. Blatchley along the left baseline. Strong out quick. Back to Abrahamson, a little bit too strong. Rebound hustle over. Hammer comes away with it for the Wolves. Kicks the ball back out to Miller. Miller, leading scorer for the Wolves in the last couple of games, really is not getting the shot up. Davis is doing a nice job, and Krager getting a hand up each time Miller has the ball out there at that three-point arc. Over to Loftus, back outside, Glacier Bears in his zone. Back to Loftus, shots on its way, looks in, good, bounces around, however, and comes out. Faberty comes away with a long down court pass to Davis. He's deep in the left-hand court, back to Faberty. Faberty 3 on the way, in and out, rebound. Going to be controlled by Miller. Comes off to Abrahamson, up and in. So Brett gets his first 2 of the ball game. Still back to that 4-point lead by the Glacier Bears. They have the ball, 3:20 to go here in the first quarter. Krager left side to Davis. Back to Krager, way beyond the three-point arc here. Screen set by Wesley. Jumper from Krager about 4 or 5 feet out, and he's got it. Nobody picked him up. He went around the man and had the little jumper and got it to go. Ball goes inside, back to Blatchley. Blatchley comes away. Now there's going to be a foul on it. Or I guess foul's on 10. 10, Carson Krager. That was kind of away from the ball. Not sure what happened on it, but anyway, the official is right there. Glacier Bears 6-point lead. Now the Wolves turn it over. Krager, he comes back, stops, puts up the shot, up and in with the left hand. Nice play by Krager as he went right to the hoop and got that one to go. Miller coming down. Glacier Bears lead 14-6. Loftus stops, spins it back out. He's surrounded. Glacier Bears on the floor. Finally, Blatchley comes with it. And up quick as Cody Angerman, as he calls a 30-second timeout, is the Wrangell Wolves really not getting into their offense, making 1, maybe 2 passes and fire it up, and I'm sure they're going to talk about that a bit.
Happens a lot in high school, but this is a different Bears team this morning. They're playing with all kinds of confidence and smoothness, and it didn't show up yesterday until the fourth quarter, I think, Lyle.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job offensively down here moving the ball. Wrangell's defense, they're playing that zone defense. They're moving the ball around. Krager's penetrated 2 times now inside. Rather than force up the 3, they just go inside with a dribble and then get the easy jumper from about 8 or 10 feet out.
And that soft pressure defense has caused 3 turnovers out in the open court for the Bears.
14-6. 14-6 here. So we got some water on the floor. Coach Fossman's down, clean it up during that timeout. All right, it's going to be Wrangell ball under their basket.
I thought that might happen. They gave the bench a delay of game for the water on the floor.
Okay, they have to give that one as a delay of game. So back out. Alley-oop over to Loftus. Miller, 3 on the way. Nope, doesn't get it yet. Rebound down to Strong. So far, Miller hasn't got on the track with his threes. Over to Faberty. Krager penetrates inside. Back to Faberty. He looks upside. Over to Davis. And Davis penetrates inside. Goes to Verham. Partially checked on the shot by Miller, but Verham gets it back, and then he travels. So the bucket's not going to count. 2:13 to go in the first quarter. Glacier Bears lead 14-6. Over to Abrahamson, back to Miller. Now we get it to Blatchley. Back to Miller on the right-hand side across the half court. Krager puts some pressure on. They've got him trapped in the corner, but he gets it off. Oh, all alone was Loftus underneath. They didn't see him, however. Back to Blatchley, takes the dribble. Jumper from about 6, and he's got it. Riley Blatchley has 6 points. And of the 8 points that the Wolves have, Glacier Bears lead by 6. Come out to Davis. Davis with the ball. Takes his dribble inside. Goes too strong on that baseline. Back out to Krager. Nice ball movement by the Glacier Bears. Verham stops, puts it up, partially checked. Rebound down to Blatchley for the Wolves, and he'll get it off to Miller. Miller goes down to Abrahamson. He wants the baseline. Puts up the shot. Doesn't get it, though. And a rebound comes down to the Glacier Bears. Faberty, he's on the dribble. Spins it back around. Davis, 3-pointer on the way, and there's a whistle away from the ball. Let's see where it's going to be. It's going to be on number 12, David Strong. That's coming off that weak side rebound. Must have been pushing to try to get better position. Glacier Bears, 2-2-1 pressure. Over to Loftus, back to Miller, into Blatchley, over to Loftus. He goes down the right-hand side. Stops. Good defense by the Glacier Bears. They didn't give him the bucket. Comes back out to Loftus on the dribble. Krager puts on some pressure, not a lot, however, as they come back outside. Back to Loftus, looks at the 3, changes his mind, drives inside, knocked off of one of the Glacier Bears and out of bounds as he made that move. It's like Clay's coming into the ball game for the Glacier Bears. And Guklenbickler is checking into the ball game. And the Wolves get the basketball back in. Over to Guklenbickler, back inside to Blatchley, who loses his dribble out at the top. Now he'll go with it, kicks it back over to Abrahamson. He looks down inside, nothing going. Over to Miller. Miller looked at the hoop, changed his mind, however. And Abrahamson will take a jumper, a little bit too strong. Oh, nice hustle by Hammer as he got it. And Abrahamson with it right back up and in as a little pass from Hammer. And he got the bucket. 4-point lead by the Glacier Bears. 22 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. Davis looks up at the clock, realizes he wants to go inside, but he's shut off. Comes back to Faberty. Long three on the way. In and out. No. Rebound fought for. Burham comes away with it back to Faberty. He puts it up and in. So Kirby Faberty's got 5. Glacier Bears back to that 6-point lead. 2 seconds. Shots on its way. And it's not going to count here, as we're going to end this first quarter of play with the Haynes Glacier Bears 16 points and the Wrangell Wolves with 10. We're going to turn it back to KHNS Studios for about 1 minute. We'll be back in 1 minute. Basketball here. We've got the Wrangell Wolves, Haynes Glacier Bears going at it for the number 2 seed advancement in the tournament. Winner of this one will play again tomorrow, and we'll see how that match comes out, because we have Petersburg and Metlakatla boys going at it to decide who's going to drop down to that number seed spot. The winner of that Petersburg game gets the number 1 seed automatically at state, goes to Blatchley. Back out to the side, stolen away by Davis. Davis is on the dribble, stops, puts it up and in. Well, head hung there for a long time, and Mark Davis has 5 points. Glacier Bears now lead by 8. Out at the top, Abrahamson gets it across. A lot of pressure being applied. Goes to Miller. Stop. Jumper from a long way behind the arc. Ball fought for underneath. Who comes up with it? Looks like it's going to be the Wolves, and firing up and in. And that's a 3-pointer by Brett Abrahamson. He's got 7. Glacier Bears with a 5-point lead and the basketball. Back out to Krager. Tries to get inside, doesn't go, however, and they come back out to the top. We had Eagle check into the ball game for the Wolves at that quarter break. Fouls on Red, 20.
Looks like Cade Clay is in the game also for the Bears.
And Clay came in for the Glacier Bears at that break. Back out to Krager. Wrangell right at the 3-point arc with their 2 people at the top of their zone defense. Comes around to Davis, back out to Faberty, over to Krager, way beyond the 3-point arc, right-hand side to Krager. He's got the dribble on the right, stops, jumps it, back out to Davis. They're working this right-hand side of that zone. Oh, almost tapped away, but Davis able to gain control of it. Ball ends up back in the hands of Krager, and he'll work the left-hand side now. They look inside for Clay. Krager all the way. There's Clay. Krager, little jumper from about 6. Oh, rolls off the side, but Verham comes away with it. He's deep in the corner, and now there's going to be a whistle on it. And it looks like it's going to be a foul. There's 3 red uniforms right around Wesley.
Wesley did a great job ripping that ball away from those 3 defenders.
And Stone Gucklenberg, that'll be his 2nd personal foul. Well, Wesley works real hard down low on the block, and as a big kid, hard to move around. Once he gets his hands on the ball, it's hard to take it away. Back to Faberty, 3-pointer on the way, off the glass, and good. Kirby Faberty has 8 points. Glacier Bears now lead 21-13. Blatchley across the half-court line, goes inside to Eagle. The pass was a little bit too hard. Davis ends up with it, however, and he's going to quick. He comes down to Miller. Stop, puts up the shot. Going to be a little short, bounces around. And it's going to be Glacier Bear basketball under their hoop. Glacier Bears lead 21-13 right now. Clay will get the ball into play for the Glacier Bears. Looking still. Now he gets it over to Davis. Davis thought about the 3, back to Faberty. Over to Krager now. Nope, Faberty's going to spin back now. They go to Krager on that left-hand side. Back to Krager. Wanted to go to the baseline. Stop. Penetrates inside. Knocked away, however, by the Wolves, and they come up with it as Miller will bring it across the half-court line. Abrahamson, three-pointer on the way. Eagle down with it, up and in. So he gets the offensive board, and he puts it right back up and in. 21-15. Glacier Bears have the lead, however. Krager comes back way. He's almost at the half-court line now. 5:37 to go here in the first half of play. Over to Faberty, left-hand side. Looks like we're going to have coming off the bench, checking into the ball game is Willard at the next chance for the Glacier Bears. Davis penetrates down inside. He's completely surrounded. Ball's bouncing every which way. And it's going to be a travel on, well, one of the Glacier Bears, but Davis got himself down in a little no man's land there, completely surrounded by three Wrangell Wolves and the baseline. No place to go, and ended up traveling with the basketball. Glacier Bears 2-2-1. Press picking them up right about three-quarter court. Back and forth is Miller. Miller takes a couple dribbles all the way across to Loftus, almost loses it. Back to Miller, they'll get it across. Now they go over to Abrahamson in that far corner and goes out of bounds. Miller thought he was going one way and Abrahamson went the other, and it went out of bounds.
A little pressure makes them make bad mistakes sometimes.
Okay, back out to Krager. Krager with the dribble way beyond the arc here. Glacier Bears lead 21-15. 5 minutes to go. Krager inside, puts up the shot, up and in, and there's a whistle on it. And Carson Krager's doing the right thing there. The foul's going to be on 23. That'll be Loftus. That's going to send Carson Krager to the free throw line. Glacier Bears been there 3 for 3 so far. And Krager is at the line right now. Shot is up on its way, and it's good. So Carson Krager gets the old three-point play. That's 9 for him. 24-15's the score. They go to Blatchley, over to Loftus. Abrahamson, he looks inside, goes to Blatchley at the free throw line, turns, takes one dribble, kicks it back out. Miller, long three on the way. This one's too strong. Rebound down to Loftus, and he looks up at the hoop, over to Miller. Miller takes one dribble inside. Find Abrahamson on that raw right-hand side. Glacier Bears come out. Now they go to Blatchley in the lane. Stop, puts up a jumper from about 6, and he's got it. So pretty tough to stop him at 6'5". He can get up over top of everybody. 4:15 to go here in the first half of play. Krager goes left to Davis. Three-pointer on the way off the rim, bouncing around. Looks like Faberty come away with it as he tapped it out to himself and then hustled and got the ball back. Krager penetrates inside again. Back to Faberty, over to Davis. He steps inside. Shot goes up and by Willard is good. So Xander Willard gets into the ball game and he scores 2 right away. Glacier Bears' biggest lead. Over to Eagle, puts it up too strong off the glass. Rebound underneath. Who comes up with it? Blatchley does, and now there's going to be a foul on it. Down in the corner we had Blatchley and Willard going at it, and Willard ended up getting him on the arm, so it's going to be Wrangell basketball. Hammer comes into the ball game. Eagle comes out of the game. 3:44 to go. Team fouls 4. Shot goes in by Miller. Doesn't go. Now there's another rebound on it. And let's see where it's going to be here. It might be on Verham. It is on Wesley. I kind of thought it might be, but I wanted to wait to make sure. But he did a little pushing down under on that rebound. So it's the 4th team out. Krager makes the steal. Davis hustles down, puts up the shot a little bit short. And now there's going to be another foul on it here as Miller hustled down. And we'll see. Fouls on 23, Skylar Loftus, and that'll be his second personal foul. 15 foul on the Wrangell Wolves, 14 fouls on the Glacier Bears. Davis at the free throw line for the Glacier Bears. He has 5 points so far this morning. This one's on its way. Looks good and is. He picks up number 6, and he is 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Glacier Bears now lead by 10, 27-17. This one's on its way. It is also good. So Glacier Bears extend that lead a bit. Comes all the way back down and goes to Loftus, over to Blatchley. He penetrates inside, stops, puts up the shot, bounces around, going to be a little short. And Verheim comes away with the rebound. Quick out to Krager. Krager goes all the way to Davis, and through his hands, he he wanted to make the move along that baseline. He had it all to himself, but he left before the ball got there. All right, back out to Miller. Over to Loftus. Loftus across the half-court line looking for Hammer. Finds inside, but tapped away by the Glacier Bears. The pressure plays off again. And Faberty will bring the ball across the half-court line. Loftus comes out over to Davis through his hands, but he gains control again. Come back inside to Krager. He's going to bring it back out over to Faberty. 3 on the way. Good. Kirby Faberty's got 11. Glacier Bears extend the lead 31-17 right now. Wolves having a tough time with that pressure and turning the basketball over. Back out to Blatchley. Abrahamson gets around his man. Comes back to Blatchley. Up and missed the little shot. Ball's fought for underneath. Burham comes away with it. And now there's going to be a foul on it. Let's see where it's going to be. It is going to be on Burham, and that'll be his second. Said he turned around, used an elbow a bit. So it's going to be Wrangell Wolves under their basket. 5 team fouls each team. So we're not in the 1-and-1 opportunities here. Back to Miller. Long 3. Nope, no good. Miller's struggling from the field, and now there's going to be another foul. See where it's going to be. Wrangell foul. Lewis picks up the foul on that one. That'll be his first.
He came up over the top.
He got on top of him, yep. All right. And now we're back out here. That's his first. Glacier Bears have the basketball. 2:20 to go here in the first half of play. They lead 31-17. Back to Faberty. Faberty with the left-handed dribble to Krager. Works that left side. Back out to Davis. Three-pointer on the way off the side of the rim. But Faberty hustles over and gets the rebound for the Glacier Bears. Krager with his hands high in the air. It's too late, however, and he's not going to get the shot. They go back into Verham, and now there's a whistle on it. And it's going to be a turnover on the Glacier Bears, I guess. Ball goes back to the Wrangell Wolves. We didn't get an indication from the official on that one. And down his side, away over to Hammer. Shot from about 6, goes too far off the back. Davis comes away with the rebound. Looks for Verham all the way down, stops. Jumper from about 4, 5, 8 out, and Verham gets it. So Wesley gets in the book now. 33-17, Glacier Bears extending the lead. Blatchley stops, wants to put up the shot. Going to be an offensive foul on Riley Blatchley, and that'll be his first personal foul. Wolves just having a tough time here under that pressure is really paying off for the Glacier Bears right now as the Wolves are slowly handling it here. And we're going to take 16 fouls on each team here. We're going to take a full timeout. Looks like the Wrangell Wolves is going to take their timeout. So with the score, the Haynes Glacier Bears 33 and the Wrangell Wolves 17, we're going to turn it back to KHNS Studios. We'll be back in 1 minute. With no time showing on the clock. 44 Hammer with the block. That's his first personal foul. And it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Davis at the free throw line. The officials are.
We have a 1-and-1.
On the scoreboards, they have the red lines all the way around, so they're tied in with the buzzer. So you could pretty much tell that there was plenty of time by the time that lit up. Shots on the way by Davis. Bounces. We don't care how it goes in.
Bounced straight up in the air about 4 feet.
And then drop right straight through. So Glacier Bears, Davis, second shot. This one is off to the side, however, and he does miss that one as he is 3 for 4. Well, we're going to finish this first half of play with the Haynes Glacier Bears leading by a score of 36-19. Winner keeps advancing on here, going for that number 2 seed spot. So we're going to probably turn it back to the KHN studios for about 9 minutes here, and then when we come back, we'll kind of recap everything that's happened in the Region 5 tournament.
So I just found out a little information about our young cheerleader. Her brother is Mark Davis, plays on the basketball team. The dad is Matt Davis, the band director. to step all over both of them and say the best talent is in our young cheerleader, Meg Davis.
Okay, 30 seconds, Marley.
we're learning a little bit about the technical aspects of this internet feed, and when we talk, I guess, Lyle, it edges out the music. They don't hear that.
Nope.
So they hear our voices fine.
And welcome back to Region 5 basketball here. Second half action now between the Haines Glacier Bears and the Wrangell Wolves. KSTK, sorry about that, but they forgot to plug in the phone jack here on us, and so you weren't able to hear any feed going on. But for the Haines Glacier Bears, if they continue to go the way they're going, they're going to advance on, and they'll play tomorrow. It's scheduled for 11:15, but with all the if games, you never quite know what's going on. Let me catch up on the rest of the tournament. Mt.Edgecumbe defeated the Sitka Wolves on the boys' side by just a last-second free throw in there in that particular game, so Edgecumbe has the edge in there. If they win again tonight, they automatically go to the state tournament. On the girls' side of things, Mt.Edgecumbe defeated the Sitka girls again by a free throw in there. Everything went right down to the wire on that one, and again Edgecumbe advanced on to go for that. So if they win again tonight, for the 4A boys, if Ketchikan wins tonight, they get that seed. If they lose, then we play all those if games, and the same thing applies for the girls on that 4A side. Well, the Glacier Bears are quick out on the court now, and they're going to get the basketball far side. Looks like the Wolves are going to go to a man-to-man defense here. Faverty comes out across the half-court line with the dribble. Blatchley will put some pressure on him. Krager's out. Miller will have him for defense. Krager penetrates inside, and looks like Carson Krager's going to be called for the carry on the basketball. And the ball goes back to the Wrangell Wolves. Comes back outside. Nothing going. 34 out to that's Miller. Back to Miller. Back and forth to Loftus. Glacier Bears dropping back into their man-to-man defense here. Loftus, long three on the way strong. Rebound comes down to Hammer, but Blatchley ends up with it, and he wants to go over to Loftus on the bounce. Blatchley should have put that one back up, elected not to, however, but the Wolves gained control of it. They're down 36-19. Wolves spins, Blatchley turns, shot a little bit too short. Rebound chased down in the corner by Krager. He comes back out to Verham. He gets it over there. Now there's going to be a travel on Wesley Verham, and he's going to turn it back over to the Wolves. That'll be under their basket. And looks like Abrahamson will get the ball back in. He does, over to Miller. Miller comes back out to the top to Blatchley, back to Miller. He kicks it all the way across left-hand side there as Glacier Bears drop back into their defense now. 7:07 to go here in the third quarter. Over to Blatchley. Kicks it back out. Over to Abrahamson. He takes the dribble inside, penetrates there. Miller looked at the three, changed his mind. However, Glacier Bears putting a lot of defense on as they penetrate outside. They realize that the Wolves like to shoot those three. They go back in threes, but so they're getting a hand up. Back out, Abrahamson over to Miller. Now he'll get the three on the way, a little bit too short. Trevor Miller having a tough time with it. Now Wesley's going to pick up another foul here. If that's the case, that'll be his third. Yep, it is. Trevor having a tough time getting things together here as far as those threes. Had that 30-point game last night, but not able to get things up and going this time as he is yet to even get in the scorebook. Glacier Bears doing a nice job. Of course, they realize that he puts a lot of pressure on by shooting those threes, but he hasn't scored yet in the ball game. Glacier Bears take the quick timeout here to talk about a little bit of getting into their offense. 6:39 to go in the third quarter of play. And we're back out, and the teams, there's the buzzer. Here comes the official to indicate that that was the first horn, so they need to get back out on the court, and they do. Wolves out first. Glacier Bears coming out of their timeout. Going to be Wrangell Wolf basketball. The Wolves will have it over deep right-hand side, pretty close to their bench. Looking, now he goes into Blatchley, all alone, jumper of about 6, way too strong though. Boy, he had a great opportunity there, just couldn't get it to go. A rebound comes back down to the Glacier Bears. They go inside to Verham, he puts up the shot and draws the foul. Davis recognized he was wide open. There wasn't anybody even close to Wesley, and he recognized it. And number 12, Blatchley, that'll be his second. So Glacier Bears at the free throw line. 2 points so far for Graham. He's got the ball. It's on its way. Good. So I don't want to jinx the Glacier Bears, but they've only missed one free throw so far this morning. So Wesley make it so there's no jinx on it. 37-19. Got the ball on the way and off the back of the rim. No rebound fought for. Blatchley comes away with it for the Wolves. And they'll come down the court to Hammer. Hammer kicks the ball back around. Davis steps in front, makes the steal. Stops, puts up the shot, and now he draws the foul on Blatchley. I think Mark probably was trying to work for that all the way down, is because he could have gone to the left-hand side, elected not to, and he kind of worked the right-hand side and worked up underneath. So that's the third foul on Blatchley. So Riley Blatchley picks up his third, and this one is good. So Davis picks up his 9th point of the ball game, and he's continued to do well at the free throw line. He is 4 for 5. Eagle checks back into the ball game. 3 fouls on Wesley, yeah.
He came out. Cade's back in the game.
Cade back outside. Inside, rebound comes back down to Blatchley. Cade Clay checked in at that opportunity. And, calling across the time as it goes out of bounds. It's going to be Glacier Bear basketball. Wolves still having a tough time with that pressure. Of course, the Glacier Bears, they've got some quick kids. I mean, everybody on the court right now is pretty quick hands and quick feet, and it's paying off for them. Over to Davis, crossover dribble down the lane, come back out to Clay, up and in. Cade Clay gets into the ball game. He comes off the bench, scores it right away, but that was really set up by Davis as he penetrated down inside. Clay filled that left-handed lane and got the easy bucket, and he's at the free throw line for the Glacier Bears, and it's good. So that's his third, and now we have a substitution coming off the bench. Is Gutenblickler. He's checking in. Loftus is going to take a quick seat. Glacier Bears commanding lead now, 41-19 is the score. 5:59 to go. Glacier Bears stay in that 2-2-1 press. Comes back outside to Gutenberg. He gets it back into Blatchley. Jumper from the free throw line. He's got it. He had some success there early on. And now he gets another chance. Looks like the Wolves are coming out some pressure, but easily beaten by the Glacier Bears. Faverty takes a couple of dribbles, and he's going to be called for that travel again. He's got to put the ball on the floor a bit sooner. All right, Glacier Bears putting the pressure back on over to Miller. Miller kicks the ball back into Blatchley, all the way over to the side to Abrahamson. He penetrates inside. Going to be a foul on it. Officials calling. He's going to get 2 shots. I think it's going to be on Clay. It is.
Cade was a half a second late there.
Yep. He knew where he was going. He just didn't quite get there in time. 41-21 is the lead by the Glacier Bears right now. And Abrahamson at the line. Shot's up on its way, and it's good. So he gets one. That's actually the first free throw for the Wrangell Wolves in the basketball game, the very first one. They haven't had any other opportunities. This one's on its way, rolls around, and looks like Faverty's going to come away with it for the Glacier Bears. He'll bring it across the half-court line as the Wolves drop back. Over to Davis. Davis makes the move left-hand side. Kicks the ball back out. Nothing going how they went to Strong. Over to Davis. Looked at the hoop. Changed his mind, however. And they come back out to David Strong. He goes inside, up and in. David Strong got the nice move on that one. And he filled that lane. Long down court pass to Guttlenberg. And he dribbles it off his foot and out of bounds. He turned around. There wasn't anybody between him and the basket. And unfortunately, he dribbled it off his foot. Ball goes to Faverty. Faverty will get it across the half-court line. He'll bring it back out. Gives it to Davis. 5 minutes to go. Three-pointer on the way by Davis. A little bit short. Rebound comes back down to Miller for the Wolves, and he'll come up across the half-court line. Goes across. Stops. Kicks the ball back out. And shot by Abrahamson, a little bit too strong. Hustling over is Blatchley, however. Back to Abrahamson. He wants to penetrate inside. Tapped away by Krager. Goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Glacier Bear basketball as it went off of one of the Wrangell Wolves. Coming off the bench is Willard checking into the game for the Glacier Bears. And Cade Clay is going to come out. Full court pressure by the Wolves right now. 4:39 to go here. And they get it into Krager, still not up across the half-court line, takes the dribble, penetrates inside, gets it across the half-court line now, looking inside, but he'll bring it back out. Goes to Faverty, three-pointer on the way, off the side of the iron. Rebound by Willard, turns around back, gives it to Davis. Davis working the left-hand side of the court. Back out to Faverty, looking, go back to Davis. Over to Krager, nobody's there. Loftus will check in at the next chance for the Wolves. Back out to Krager. Glacier Bears lead 43-22. 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Back out to Davis. He steps inside. Krager goes over to Willard. Willard wanted the baseline, didn't get it, however. Good defense by the Wolves. Back out to Davis. He goes back inside. Up and in by Strong. So David Strong's got 6 points for the Glacier Bears. Oop, almost tapped away by Faverty. Goes out of bounds, however, on that pressure. Loftus comes into the ball game now. And looks like Miller gets the ball back inside to Gucklenberg. They get it back over to Miller on that left-hand side. Gucklenberg, he comes inside with the dribble. Krager comes out, puts some pressure on, reverses back, and knocked out of bounds by Krager. Going to be Wrangell basketball. Eagle also checked into the game there for the Wolves. Back out to the top. Over to Loftus, looking with the dribble. Can't do anything with it. Looks inside for Miller. Kicks the ball over to that left-hand side. 3:28 to go here in the third quarter. Back out to Loftus. He looks down inside. Nothing going. However, Eagle was there. Now Eagle's on the baseline. Gives up his dribble, however, and so they'll bring it back out with Miller. Over to Eagle. Back to Blatchley underneath. Stop, spin move. Puts up the shot. Going to be a little short on it. Bounces around, and Faverty comes away with it. He dribbles down the right-hand side. Goes to Davis. Elects not to take the shot. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Back to Faverty. Back out to Davis beyond the arc here. Looks like Hammer's coming back into the ball game along with Abrahamson. And now we've got a whistle. Let's see where the foul's going to be. Foul's going to be number 21, Willard. He picks up his second. It was away from the ball here, so Wolves are going to get the ball. Glacier Bears stay in their pressure. Comes back outside to Blatchley. They easily break it, however, the Wolves do. All the way to Hammer. Had the shot, changed his mind. Blatchley stops, gives it back out to Miller. 3 on the way. Nope, not any good. Miller is really struggling from that three-point arc this morning. Comes back out. Faverty with the basketball. Looking, gets the ball back into Krager. Krager on the dribble on the right-hand side. Comes back to Faverty, still not across. Now he goes to Davis. Davis spin move, looks inside, finds Strong, all the way over to Willard. Back to Krager, shot from the free throw line, a little bit too strong. Rebound comes back down in the hands of Willard, but he's fouled from behind, and so he's going to get a couple of shots at it. Number 34, Trevor Miller's going to pick up. That's his first team foul. Glacier Bears lead 45-22, and Willard at the free throw line, yet to get there at the line, has 2 points in the ball game. This one is good.
He worked hard for that position.
Yep, he got inside there and was able to draw the foul, and is going to get a couple of free throws out of the deal. This one's up on its way, rolls around off the front of the rim. Rebound comes down to Miller for the Wolves, and he'll bring it all the way down. Goes left side there. Abrahamson looks inside. Can't find anybody. Back out to Loftus. Nice move in there. Puts it up a little bit too strong. Gets his own rebound back here. Finds Miller. Miller a long 3 on the way. Finally, Trevor Miller gets 3, and that's his first 3 points of the basketball game. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Krager with it across the half-court line. Dribbles between 2 Wolves. Now he'll bring it back out and set the offense right-hand side to Davis. Out to Krager. Back to Davis. Over to Faverty, long 3 and good. 14 points by Kirby Faverty. He's the leading scorer now for the Glacier Bears. Leave him alone and he's going to bury it on you. Comes back out. Davis makes the steal, hustling all the way up and in. Mark Davis has 11 points in the ball game. And now we're going to have, we got a officials timeout here. So we'll see exactly what it is here, as they're going to have to make a substitution here. They do. All right, looks like number 20, Stone Guckenbickler comes ball into the ball game for the Wolves. Miller gets the ball back over to Guckenbickler. He's not across the half-court line. Now he gets it across. Trevor Miller, long 3 on the way. This one's nothing but air, and it's going to bounce around, end up in the hands of the Glacier Bears. Krager ends up with it, and all alone is Oh, nice pass all the way down is Strong, and he gets the easy hoop out of it. As Carson Krager recognized there was nobody even close, gave him a long pass. Miller comes down, puts it up, gets his own ball back, and it's going to be before the shot. It'll be on the rebound as Miller put it up, but collected his own offensive rebound. The foul's going to be on 21. Willard picks up his third. 57 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Glacier Bears lead 53-25. Wolves with the basketball. Gets it back into Blatchley. Jumper in and out. No. Rebound down to Faverty. Nice look by Blatchley. Just couldn't get it to go. And Faverty will bring it down. He'll come out to the top. Krager with the ball way beyond the three-point arc are the Glacier Bears. They go right-hand side to Faverty. Back to Davis. Davis penetrates inside. He'll kick it back out. Krager didn't want to take the shot. Maybe they're working for the last shot of the quarter. There's 37 seconds to go in the third quarter. Out to the top. Here comes Davis. Davis over there. Comes right-hand side. Goes inside by Krager. Back to Davis. 24 seconds. Krager stops. Wants the shot. Changes his mind. Gives it to Faverty. Goes through his legs. Rebound ends up in the hands of the Wolves and penetrating all the way down. There's Abrahamson. He puts it up. Doesn't go, however, as Wiederspoon checked into the game. Glacier Bears all the way down to Miller. Stolen away. And now there's going to be a whistle on it. The foul is on, I think, number 12. Yeah, it is. That's going to be Strong. And that is his second personal foul. 5 team fouls on the Glacier Bears, 4 team fouls on the Wrangell Wolves. Miller, 4 seconds. Penetrates inside, kicks the ball back out. Shot goes up a little bit too short by Wiederspoon. So we're going to end this third quarter of play with the Haynes Glacier Bears 53 points and the Wrangell Wolves 25 points. We're going to turn it back to the KHNS studios for about 1 minute. We'll be back in 1 minute for fourth quarter action. Just pointed out that the Wrangell Wolves were 2 for 11 in that quarter at only 18%. Glacier Bears 60% from the field. Man, that's great for the Glacier Bears. Long three, and it's good by Abrahamson as they come in with it, and he's got 11 points in the ball game. Now the Wolves are really definitely going to have to put some pressure on, being down by a score of 53-28. A tough comeback for the Wolves right now. Glacier Bears just need to play smart basketball. Krager penetrates inside, up and in, as he just kept the ball in his hands, went right to the hoop, laid it off the glass off the right-hand side, extends the lead 55-28 now. Abrahamson back to Loftus, put it up a little short. Faberty comes down with the rebound, and he'll take the left-handed dribble. Goes left-hand side to Krager. Krager sees Davis out there. They'll get it to him. Finally back to Davis. Long three, and he's got it. Mark Davis, 14 points for him. Come back inside to Loftus, over to Miller. Miller will get it across. Glacier Bears now lead by 30. Comes backside, Miller, spin move, loses the ball. Loftus ends up with it. He puts it up, checked by Faverty. And quickly down the court comes Davis. He goes up and missed the shot, however. As Blatchley was right there, you could see he was looking at him on the dribble. Faverty, long three on the way. He's got it. Kirby Faverty's got 17 now. Glacier Bears a real commanding lead now. Over to Loftus. Both teams are just firing it up right now. Abrahamson stops. Krager puts a little pressure on. They go inside. They wanted to go back inside. Knocked away, however, by the Glacier Bears, but hustling over is Wiederspoon. Back to Blatchley, looked at the hoops, stops, kicks the ball back out. Almost stolen away by Davis, but Abrahamson comes up with it, puts up the shot. Krager's going to hustle there. The ball's going to go to the Wrangell Wolves deep in their right-hand corner. Stone Guklenbickler checks back into the ball game for the Wolves. Back inside now, 6:15 to go in the ball game. Winner advances on. Wood Miller, long three, a little bit too strong. Rebound down, 2 Glacier Bears all the way down. Verham stop, puts it up and in. Glacier Bears beat everybody down the court that time and got the easy hoop on it. And Miller comes down, stops, kicks the ball back out to Blatchley. Turnaround jumper from about 4 or 5 feet, and he's got it. So that's 12 for him, leading score for the Wolves right now. 63-30, 5:46 to go. Winner advances on in the tournament. Loser is out. Back to Krager. Over to Davis. Back to Krager. Over to Faverty, three-pointer, and he's got it. He likes that side over there, and that's 20 points for him as nobody picked him up. He uses that right-hand baseline just pretty much like anybody. Back to Abrahamson. He fires it up and bounces around a couple of times, and he gets the three-pointer out of it, and he's got 14 points for the Wolves. Wolves still in there, man-to-man pressure. Backed out to Faverty, gets it across the half line. Goes out to Davis. Davis penetrates inside, stops, kicks the ball over to Verham, back and forth to Davis, over to Krager. Krager penetrates inside, Davis comes back, looking for Willard. Faverty, three-pointer, just a little strong. Rebound comes back down, but the Glacier Bears able to corral it, however, as Krager comes away with it. And so he's going to back it back out. 4:47 to go here in the ball game. Glacier Bears lead 66-33. Verham goes back inside. Willard shot from about 4 or 5. No, doesn't go. Back inside. Rebound comes and goes out of bounds. Going to be Glacier Bear basketball as the Wolves will roll over it. But the goal goes out. Eagle comes into the ball game. Hammer comes into the ball game for the Wolves. 4:33 to go in the game. Back to Faverty. Out to Krager. Krager takes a couple of dribbles along the side there. He's way beyond the three-point arc. Clock's in their favor right now, so they're just using a bit of time. Back out. They try to go into Verham. Turns, spins, moves, stop. Shot from the free throw line, a little strong. Bounces around, and Miller comes up with it for the Wolves. Miller comes down. Spins across, stop, jumper on the way, a little strong, rebound down to Verham. He's in the corner, comes back to Krager on the right-hand side. Krager penetrates inside, puts it up off the glass, no rebound. Hustling over in the corner is Guklenbickler. He picks it up for the Wolves. Back to Blatchley, he'll bring it across. Jumper from beyond the three-point arc off the front of the iron. Rebound down to Faverty for the Glacier Bears. Looks like we're going to have Lewis coming into the game next chance for the Wolves. Long three by Faverty, up and in. So Faverty continues to score. That's 23 points for him. Blatchley gets it across to to Miller, back to a screen set by Hammer, but Miller doesn't take it. He wanted a three, and Hammer will take the three off the front of the ground. Back to Davis. Davis comes down with the dribble. He'll set it up. 3:13 to go in the game. Over to Faverty. Back to Davis. Over to Krager. Krager brings the ball back out to Davis. Just using a little bit of clock now. 3 minutes to go in the game. Back out to Krager. Nobody putting any pressure. Glacier Bears just passing the ball around. Back out to the side. Using a little more clock. Back to Krager. He just going to back it back out. He could have passed it to him to Faverty. Changed his mind, however. Screen set by Wesley Verham, and now looks like Coach Fossman wants to take a timeout here to kind of talk it over here, and it's going to be a full timeout for the Haynes Glacier Bears. Well, I would say right now the Glacier Bears probably are going to advance on to that game tomorrow. It's going to be pretty tough for the Wrangell Wolves to make that comeback. So I'm going to try to set things here for you folks down there, or up in there in Haynes. On the 2A boys side of the bracket, Metlakatla and Petersburg are going to play at 4:45 this afternoon. The loser of that game drops down and plays the Haynes Glacier Bears to go for that number 2 seed at the state tournament coming out of this Region 5. So if the winner of the Met Petersburg game automatically gets the number 1 spot, then the number 2 spot is up in the air. Now it's scheduled for 11:15 ball game tomorrow, so we'll kind of see how that one goes. On the girls' side of things, Wrangell and Met play at 3 o'clock today, and Craig winning today, they will play the loser of that particular game. So we got some subs coming into the ball game here. So Glacier Bears are going to have the basketball on the far side. So as soon as we know the actual game time, right now it looks like 11:15, KHNS will put the word out as quickly as they can, and we'll be on the air to cover that particular game. It's going to be Glacier Bear basketball, far side of the court. Bile goes into Krager. 2:43 to go in the game. Krager with the dribble out at the top. Dixon checks into the ball game for the Glacier Bears. And they're just going to use a little bit of clock. They're doing that weave out front. They're very good at doing that and using up some time. Coach Fossum was up there waving his arm around. He wants movement. He wasn't getting enough movement. Now the kids are moving hard. Back to Dixon. Back out to Faverty. Way beyond the three-point. Well, the Wolves are in their man-to-man defense. Of course, they have to be because they got to be aggressive. Balls rolls around. Faverty's able to gain control of it. Back to Dixon. He penetrates inside. They'll bring it back out. Faverty, long three on the way out the front of the iron. Hammer comes away with it for the Wolves. Stops, gets the ball back off. Lewis puts up the shot, but nothing but air and goes out of bounds. So the Glacier Bears are going to get the basketball back. Full court pressure by the Wolves. Back out to Faverty, still not across the half-court line. He'll get it over to Dixon. Dixon will get across. Davis is on the bench for the Glacier Bears, so Dixon's handling the ball. Tapped away, ends up in Krager's hands. Back out to Willard. Some subs for the Glacier Bears right now as they lead 69-33 with 1:37 to go in the game. Back out to Strong. Strong takes the left-handed dribble down the lane. He'll bring it out to Dixon. Two-pointer on the way off the front of the iron, however, and the rebound comes back down to the Wolves. They'll kick the ball over to Eagle. Eagle penetrates inside, puts up the shot. No, doesn't go. And looks like Strong comes up with it. He'll go to Krager. We got substitutions. The seniors for the Glacier Bears are going to check into the ball game here with 1:10 to go. And Coach Fossman's going to call a 30-second timeout to make sure he gets those seniors in there. That'll be Slauson. Con Haley will be checking into the game for the Glacier Bears here with a 69-33, 1 minute 9 seconds to go. Glacier Bears are going to get their seniors in the ball game. That'll be the first chance for them to play since we've been down here. But
well, I've been impressed with Xander Willard. He's played the whole quarter. It's the most significant playing time he's had all year, and he's doing a great job out there.
All right, now they're into the ball game. So let's see if Wrangell's going to make a few substitutions too here. Looks like they're going to bring some ball players off. Messner's checking into the ball game. It looks like Gillen looks like he's going to come into the ball game for the Wolves. So we've got lots of subs into the ball game. Witherspoon is now in there. Also Lewis is in there. And it's going to be Glacier Bear basketball on the far side. 1 minute 9 seconds to go here. And now we have an over and back here. I was looking down on my score sheet, so I'm not sure what happened, but the Glacier Bears turned the basketball over. All right. Over there to Lewis. Long three on the way. No, doesn't go. And the ball comes down to Strong. He's on the left-handed dribble. He'll come down. Back out to Slauson. Slauson comes inside. He can't find anybody. Back to Strong. And he'll bring the ball back out. Gives up his dribble. Goes to Dixon. Dixon's being pressured by the Wolves. Back out to Slauson. Gets the ball tapped away, however, as Gutenbicker comes down, stops, puts it up and in. So he gets into the scorer's bench. That's his first 2 points. And coming back down, 33 seconds to go in the game. Strong holds the ball high over his head, can't find anybody. Now he'll kick it back out to Slauson. Back over to Strong. 25 seconds to go in the game. Back to Dixon. Dixon will dribble it out. Back over to Strong. He looks down inside. Holm also checked into the ball game for the Glacier Bears, so Caleb gets a little bit of playing time here with 11 seconds to go. And they'll come back down to the side. Dixon comes back out. Back out to Strong. They're just going to dribble a timeout here. We're going to finish this ball game with the Haynes Glacier Bears come away with 69 points and the Wrangell Wolves finishing with 35 points in the game. So Glacier Bears are going to advance on to play tomorrow morning, going for that number 2 seed at the state tournament. So boy, there'll be a lot of basketball to be played before we determine the exact time as the play. But right now it's scheduled for 11:15 tomorrow. So we'll see if that holds up with all the if games that they have all the way through. Well, let me run down the scoring real quick here. Well, Don's putting together a few more stats for us. Hammer did not score in the ball game. Guttland Victor picked up those 2 points. The Riley Blatchley finished with 12 points in the ball game. Eagle come off the bench. He got 2 points. Abrahamson picked up 14 points as he was 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Lewis got in the game, did not score. Trevor Miller only picked up that 1 3-pointer for the game. Loftus had 2 points in the ball game. Wiederspoon got into the game. Gillen, Ritchie, and Marsner got into the ball game for the Wrangell Wolves for their 35 points. For the Haynes Glacier Bears, 3 points for Cade Clay coming off the bench, doing a nice job, and was 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Faverty, leading scorer for the Haynes Glacier Bears, 23 points. He was 3 for 3 from the line. Mark Davis had a nice game today, 14 points, as he was 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Burham finished the ball game with 5 points as he was 1 for 2 from the line. Carson Krager, 13 points. He is 1 for 1 from the line. Kai Dixon got into the game, didn't score. And also David Strong got in the game, had 8 points in the game. Caleb Holm got in.